Okay, hi and welcome back, and let's look at this on-screen display menu now in some detail. First of all, I'm just going to quickly step you through these soft menu keys. I'll call them keys, you know, these touch sensitive things here, just to let you know what they do in the menu when you're adjusting the menu, the on-screen display menu, right? Menu obviously opens and closes the on-screen display, but is also your backing out of an inner menu key. Up and down is for adjusting a selected parameter and going up and down the menus, and this icon that also doubles as source is your stepping into an inner menu button. Okay, the auto button is not used in the on-screen display adjustments and things, yeah. So I'm just going to be using these four first buttons, yeah, and the up and down arrow and this one that is also source function as shortcut keys when the on-screen display is not being used, but I'll come to that in part 3, because this on-screen display walkthrough is going to occupy one 10-minute YouTube video. Okay, so that's your lot. Let's switch her on and go into the on-screen display. So let's put on the screen using the soft touch there and zoom in when it comes on. Put on the menu like that and zoom in, and the camera should be right on target for this. There we are, that'll do. So there's our on-screen display. Perhaps I could drop that down just a bit, make it more straight. Okay, so there's our on-screen display. So on the left you have the main menu items, which each have an icon, and you scroll up and down using the arrow keys. So the first one is picture, and you go into that using the source button, and you can adjust brightness by again going into that with the source button, and then up and down the brightness using the up and down arrow keys. Step back out with the menu, and then down you've got contrast, you can adjust the contrast, and then you've got this magic bright menu, which if you go into that offers a bunch of presets, okay, that automatically adjusts the screen for different things like dynamic contrast, which apparently will set things according, you know, will set the contrast nicely and everything according to whatever you're looking at on screen. And then you've got movie and sport. Custom is the default, text, which dulls everything down, internet, which is pretty similar for a mixture of text and images. Game is obviously very bright and very contrasty and very gamma-y. And sport and movie apparently are set up for, you know, sport and movie, for movement and things like that. So I'll leave it on custom. There we are. Step out of this menu, and just to say that if, for example, I was in this magic bright menu and I chose dynamic contrast, for example, and then stepped out, if I then choose contrast or brightness, they're both showing not available here. They can't be adjusted if you've got that magic bright set to dynamic contrast. So I'll just leave that back on custom. Okay, so step out of that menu using the menu button and then back out again, and we get into the main left hand menu. Next item is colour. Go into that, and we've got first of all this magic colour, and that basically is off by default, but it has a demo mode. If I zoom out like that, you can see that it makes one half of the screen with the magic colour on and one off, and all that. And then oops, and then if I just bring that camera around a little bit, and then if I go to full, it puts it on full across the whole screen, and intelligent apparently is different to full in that it's better for skin tones and things, right? But by default leave that on off. Step out of that, and we've got now our other menus in colour. We've got colour tone. Go into that and you can choose between these cool, normal, warm or custom, and it just changes the colour, and it's normal by default. Back out of that, we've got next colour control, which you can get in and you can edit your RGB or whatever. Back out of that, and we've got colour effect, which to me is, to my mind, is a pointless menu. It just offers these you know, grayscale, green, aqua or sepia colour tints across the whole screen. What that use of that is, I don't know. So anyway, that's off by default. We've got gamma, which gives you just 3 different gamma modes. It's not a continually variable gamma setting. It's by default mode 1 as far as I remember. Back out of that. And anything else in that menu? No, that's your lot. So back out of that, and the next menu is for the adjustment, the image menu. And this is like your adjustment of the screen, horizontal and vertical position. And apart from the sharpness control, pretty much all of this only is relevant when you're using the RGB input. Okay, like you've got coarse and fine for adjusting the image positioning, and then you've got horizontal and vertical positioning. But one thing that can be accessed in when you're using DVI is the sharpness control, and that's adjustable up and down using the arrow keys. You can adjust the sharpness. I think it was 40 by default. So that's that menu. Back out of that, and the next menu down is for the on-screen display itself, in terms of its positioning. Its language, if you go into that and you look, it's got a whole bunch of languages: English, Dutch, Spanish, French, Italian, Swedish, Russian, Portuguese and Turkish. And then you can adjust the position of the on-screen display on the screen, horizontal and vertical, also its transparency. And the display time, which previously I set from the default of 20 seconds to 200 seconds, so that we could do all this without it disappearing all the time. So anyway, step out of that. And that's that menu for the on-screen display. And finally you've got this setup menu, which gives you factory reset. There's a customize a key menu there. Now, if you remember, I told you the down arrow key on the bevel functions when the on-screen display is not being used as a shortcut key, and this is where you define what menu it brings up. And it can bring up the magic bright, magic color, color effect, or the image size menu. Okay. The screen itself has its own inbuilt on-off timer, off timer, so you can set it to switch off in hour intervals, and that's adjustable from 1 hour to 23 hours, and there's 10 hours I think by default. You've got auto source, which allows you to switch between auto and manual, and again that means that in auto the screen automatically cycles around looking for an active input, whether it's HDMI or D-sub or the DVI. But when the on-screen display is not being used, if you then press the source menu on the soft touch keys on the right, it will bring up, it'll force the screen to scan the ports and look for an input again. But if it's set to manual, you can choose the input manually. So I leave that on auto. And finally got this image size thing, and this is to do with using RGB input as far as I know. Auto and wide, you'd have to look that up what it does. I'm not going to go into it in everything like that, but basically it's to do with displaying the image size properly when the pixels are being stretched to the native resolution of this screen, if it's different or something like that. Yeah. I'll leave it on auto. And what else we got? We've got this AV mode and HDMI black level, and they're only again relevant if you're using the RGB input. I think that's correct. Or if you're using the HDMI input, you can adjust the black level and things. And that's your lot really. Finally, there's this information display that just shows you what rate the screen is running at. And how are we getting on with time? Oh, that's 10 minutes, so that's your lot. Back out of the menu, and that's that. And I'll leave that as part 2. And then we'll do a final part just showing you the shortcut keys and a general summing up. Okay, talk to you later.